So all the Spanish we heard you speaking, no, won't cause Spain that.
Oh, they mean call Spain. And it shocks people. That's why people use my story. Say, look at Miss Hertty. She didn't go to Spain. She didn't go to France, but she can speak.
Bienvenue dans ce module de formation dédié à la gestion de projet. Benkwai wadi yo ye yankasa. Enuntina a Benkwai Delight Abba. En medio del caos, necesitas algo que te acompañe sin fallar. Bonjour et bienvenue chez Vos Afrique.
Wow! You speak so good. They're like, oh, how did you do it? How did I do it?
My name is Manifwa. Les week-ends à Bakechi sont très intéressants.
Bonjour les chers spectateurs, je m'appelle Madame Wilma, je suis fondatrice d'Achievers Success Hub et je suis votre animatrice pour Enfrenched, My Journey with French. Hello everybody and welcome to Enfrenched, My Journey with French. I am Madame Wilma, I'm the founder of Achievers Success Hub and I'm also your host right here on Enfrenched, My Journey with French. Today, I'm here with one of my favorite language buddies. We met online. Can you imagine? But it's been a wonderful friendship ever since we met, and I'm super, super, super excited to have her here. So Miss Hertty is how we call her. And as I say, I don't want to do the introductions because I don't want to lose out anything. I don't want to take out anything. So I'm going to welcome her and let her introduce herself. Bienvenue, Miss Hertty.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Wilma. C'est un plaisir d'être ici. Donc, pour commencer avec la présentation, je m'appelle Henrietta Agyekum, mais les gens m'appellent Miss Hertty. Je suis coach de langue à texte de voix-off, voiceover artist. Aussi, je suis la fondatrice de B-Proficient. C'est une communauté qui aide les Africains à apprendre les langues et aussi à avoir une communauté pour pratiquer les langues. Aussi, je poursuis actuellement un doctorat en langue romance avec une spécialisation en linguistique hispanique aux États-Unis, Georgia. Donc, je parle français, je parle anglais, espagnol et un peu de portugais. Portugais, oui. So it's a pleasure to be here and to be on this show, this very big show. C'est un plaisir.
Okay, so now you have to say everything in English because our viewers.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here again on this big show. It's an honor. My name is Henrietta Agyekum, but people call me Miss Hertty. I'm a voice-over artist. I'm a language coach and also the founder of B-Proficient. And it's a community that we have to help language learners to practice. And also, we also offer some language lessons as well. I'm currently a PhD student in Romance languages with a specialization in Hispanic Linguistics. And but I did my undergraduate in French and Spanish, and then did my master's in Spanish. And this is where I am now. I speak French, English, Portuguese, Spanish, and Chi. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
All right. It's a pleasure to have you here. Okay, so my next question will be, has the French language been of help to you? Est-ce que la langue française vous a profité dans votre parcours professionnel?
Thank you very much for that question. I think mostly when we talk about benefits of language learning, all that comes to mind is economic, you know, maybe some job offers. For me, I'll say I've been in class all my life. So I'm always studying. So since my primary, it's always from one class to another school, to another school, to another school. So I've not really worked in the professional world except for 1 year. No, some months that I did an internship, but that was with Spain Ghana Chamber of Commerce. But I can talk about other benefits of French. I have been able to teach a lot of people French. Whilst I was in school, I was doing that side job. When I was doing my national service, I was teaching people French one-on-one classes, and that put some money in my pocket. I worked in 2 schools where I taught children French when I was doing my national service. So whilst I was doing my national service as a TA, I was getting that money, you know. So 3 other places, one classes, then 2 other schools where I was also teaching the children French, and it was so lovely. And there, for me, I think the paramount of knowing a language is being able to connect with other cultures. So I meet people and I'm able to connect with them instantly just because I can speak French. And mostly, I always say when we are learning the language, you should look beyond just work benefits. And so for me, even recently here, I picked an Uber and I sat in the car, and the person said he's from Congo, and I was like, "Oh, so do you speak French?" And he was like, "Oh yeah," and he also got to know I speak Spanish, so we spoke some French. I was like, "Wow, you speak so good! I hope I meet you again." I said, "Wow!" He was so shocked. He was so shocked. For me, it's one of the purest joys to meet somebody and just be able to connect with them instantly, just because I'm able to speak their language and French in this case. So one day, I was at the airport. This woman was in the shuttle, the airport shuttle. No, they have the name for it, the subway or something like that. But in the airport, that bus that moves around, and she was so stranded with her children, and she had a card that she kept pointing, I think, to the place that she wanted to go. And I asked her, where is she from, because she couldn't speak English, she couldn't speak, and then in the US is English and Spanish, so she couldn't speak any of them. So I asked her, where is she from, and she mentioned, I think, Haiti or one country in the Caribbean that speak French. So I asked, do you speak French? She said yes. And then I just swapped to French and started speaking with her. The relief, the relief that came to me. She was, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup, merci beaucoup. Like, she was so happy. And I was very happy because I was able to help even at that point. Yes, because meeting somebody at that really at their point of their lives and being able to help them, it's a pleasure. I remember one time too, I was here and then somebody called me from Ghana. I said, "Ah," my godfather called. He said, there is a French speaker here right now, and we need to speak with her. We can't speak with her. Can you talk to her? First timer. So I just took the phone, just started speaking French with her. I said, wait. So I will speak and then translate, speak, translate. And I think even like in ministry, for me, it's paramount. It's very, very needed. You meet somebody from another culture, you want to share, they speak French. Especially in Ghana, there are so many people who come from Togo, Benin, they come to Ghana. I've had so many instances where I've met them. You can share the gospel with them in French, and it's so beautiful. And then also saying that I think that even be having the opportunity to get into this program here, my doctorate may also be also because I can speak French, because the program is Romance languages, and we know French is a Romance language. And even when you're learning, you are able to tap into knowledge from French because I know the language. And people really, like, they really respect me. Hey, you speak French? Oh my God. But yeah, beyond professional world, as I said, I've not really worked because I've always been doing school. But I think there are so many other benefits apart from the economic ones that, for me personally, French has really helped me with. And I mean, I teach for some money too, so yeah.
Well, that's amazing because you know what? So far, whenever I'm talking about French, I always talk about the economic aspect of it, but you've brought a very human aspect of it, because
Yeah.
you made me remember all those times when people have had to call me just to connect to or talk to somebody to help them out of
Yeah. Yeah.
hospital. Somebody called me, the person was in Germany and he met somebody on the train. The person needed help and he made me speak to the person.
Oh.
Never really, I've never really appreciated those ones. Now you're making me realize that all they are very
Yes.
special encounters as well, because you end up
Yeah.
helping the person.
Yes.
The person. We have
Yes.
been looking at the money, 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 but
It's way beyond money. It's way, 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 way beyond money.
amazing.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about Be Proficient. Before I ask you any other question,
Mm.
let's talk about Be Proficient, because for you, I got to know you online, and let me say before I continue that you're doing an awesome job online. I think
Oh,
your
thank you.
thing has taken you off for a while. We've missed you,
Yeah.
but really pulled along so many language learners, and I am super inspired by you. I was on break from LinkedIn. I am that chatty. I'm kind of serious, all right, but I don't like too serious sessions. So when I started LinkedIn, I don't know, whether about 5 years ago or something, the place was too serious for me. And then I
Mm.
went off. Okay. But then after some time, I just came back. I'm like, let me see if I'll survive here. Then I met your post, and your posts were kind of chatty. I'm like, okay, this sounds a bit like me, right?
Mm-hmm.
This lady posts a serious thing and she jokes, and that's I think I can survive here. Let me just connect with her. And it's been a wonderful journey. And I've seen so many other language learners on there, especially on LinkedIn, tagging you and Veronica. That you push them to get into the French and all. It's a blessing. Like you said, you have really brought an aspect that I have not really spoken about, the
Mm.
human aspect of it, the social
Yes.
aspect of it. And so you're doing a great job. Please,
Thank
I
you.
want people to know about Be Proficient. Let's hear about it. What is it about? What was your purpose for creating it?
Thank you so much. So, I've had a lot of people since I was done with school. Even I think when I was still in school in my undergraduate, people would text me because people know that I could speak both French and Spanish. And then they would text me, "How did you do it? How did you learn? How can I be fluent?" Questions like that. And it's like attending to each person was. I felt like it was a lot because I started my master's. So I just thought, why not find a way to bring all these people together and find a way of helping them to be able to get fluid because they have so many questions. So the first thing that came to mind was a blog site where I can write my posts and to target certain questions that they have for me. So they will ask me questions like, um, can I be fluent? I mean that's what made me do the language seminar. So I picked the seminars and even the topics from the questions I've been having. So I write these posts, how you can learn a language with music, how you can learn a language without traveling abroad. Because people, especially when they don't get the opportunity to travel abroad or go for study abroad, and then they are down. And then people use my story. Say, look how Miss Hetty, she didn't go to Spain, she didn't go to France, but she can speak. So I thought, let me just use this way to help. So I started the blogs. Then I just realized that people needed more. We can have an interaction with them. So apart from the website and the blog site, then I moved to the starting the language seminars where I have somebody on board. Then the questions that they really have, instead of attending to them one by one, we can address all those questions in one seminar of about 1 hour or 1 hour and 30 minutes so they can also have their voices being heard because these things are not organized in school on campuses. So at the time that I started, that was in 2024. Yes, I had never come across any kind of program being done to address these questions that language learners had. So that was how come we started the seminars as well. And then I realized, oh, the reason why the people are not being fluent, and we always say this, is because they don't practice and they expect that some magic will happen and then they'll just start speaking. But it doesn't work that way. If you don't practice, that's how language is. If you don't practice, you are not going to be fluent. So why not create a space for them whereby they can find other people, like-minded people who really are serious about their journeys? Because I remember back in school, you would want to speak French with somebody and they're like, oh, they're all trying to do. That's how they see you. If you want to practice with them, they'll say you are too known. Why are you the only one? But yes. And then later when they see you and then you can be able to speak, they're like, oh, how did you do it? How did I do it? When I wanted to speak with you, you said no. Today you're asking me how I did it. Yeah. So I realized that sometimes even in the school environment, it doesn't help some people because they don't find people who really want to learn. And they don't have, and even those who are learning on their own, they don't find people because they just go online or they use Duolingo and nobody to practice with, and they don't get anywhere. So why not create a space where language learners can come on board and then they can find buddies? So we had to do language buddies, find buddies for people, and that's how that one also started. And now we are in the space where there are weekly meetings where they can get together, talk, and then practice the language. Now we are also at the place where we have a YouTube channel. So the blog sites that I started with, I just realized why not them see my face and me telling them actually how it is. So I started the YouTube channel where I give some tips. So it's more like the same tips I would give on the blog sites are the same tips over there. And now we started the Spanish lessons, which ended 2-3 weeks ago. It was very wonderful. And now we're also going for we are adding French to it, beginner French, because I don't think I can go advanced. So we are also adding French to it, language classes, which are going to start in July. And we are hoping for bigger things and programs for B-Proficient. So that is it about us.
Now, let me ask the question I should have asked before this one, but I was just in a rush of Proficient. How did you learn the French? You speak both French and Spanish. She also, but she a local language. It's here in country one. International languages. Now, how did you learn the French and the Spanish?
So French, just as any other Ghanaian would, I started learning French from primary school because, we are surrounded by French-speaking countries. You have to learn French. So that's how I started. But, just like everybody, you are in the place where you're always beaten. You don't like it. Every time you see it's coming to class, you're afraid. But I think just before this interview, I was thinking about when my dad will buy a small book for me to practice. And I think I was liking it. But you go to class and the way the teacher will also teach will just put you off. So that was how it had been till I got to SHS. Some way, somehow, I did French. I don't know what even inspired me to do French in SHS. but but I did French, and that's how I was learning. It was SHS 3 that I was learning for BC, and I realized French, no, it's not hard. It's just like you are speaking the English, it's not hard. Then I had to go to the uni. I really wanted to do journalism, but my dad said he didn't have the money. So because I wanted to go to GIJ. So I had to now go to Legon, and then I picked French and political science and Spanish. So I continued the French there. I didn't drop the French because I'm like, why not get a degree and then I can boast of having a degree in French. So that has been how I've learned the French. I've not traveled to any French speaking country, unfortunately, like the way some of you have been privileged to have. But I learned the French just that way. Yes. The school routes.
Spanish?
The Spanish I started at the University of Ghana, so I had no prior. I didn't even know a single word in Spanish before I started. And this is how far the Lord has brought us, especially with the Spanish. Because it's also in the school setting. If not for 3 weeks ago that I traveled to Costa Rica, I had never traveled to any Spanish-speaking country before.
So all the French, all the Spanish we heard you speaking, no, won't cause pain that.
Oh, they mean cause pain. And it shocks people. That's why people use my story. Yes, that's why people use my story, especially in the Spanish department.
That some of the viewers don't speak Chi. You learned. Oh, so basically, all I'm asking is that so all the Spanish that you've been speaking, you've never stepped in Spain before.
No. My friends, my friends went. My name was under the list. Like you have when the list comes, we have 10 people, right? And then mostly they take 5, and I was ninth on the list because for me, I prioritize speaking over grades. It's not like I do bad in my grades. My French grades, I got like almost all A's for my listing, but my Spanish, being secret, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. I had a lot of A's though, but I was ninth on the list. I wasn't the top part of the top people because I prioritized speaking. So it came, and then I know they're going to take 5 people. I'm like, okay, I was ninth, and then somehow they came back. They said they're taking 8, so I was just under the yes. So I didn't go. But a lot of people think I went because I could speak the Spanish, and those who went and came back to meet me, they're like, who is this girl? Because she didn't go. Did you go? So some of the teachers will ask, people even debate about it. Like, oh, I've no. I'm in Spain. That I've never been to Spain.
Wait, now that's getting exciting. Let me know. Let me shift from the French and come. No, because I thought you probably did your year abroad in Spain as some of us.
No. I didn't go to Spain. The year abroad, that opportunity, I missed it. They said they had another one, one semester Erasmus scholarship. So I was waiting for that. Because of that, I didn't go to Benin because I thought if I go to Benin and the Erasmus one comes, I would rather want to go to Spain. So the Benin, I was number 3 on the list out of 60. Like we were taking 60 people. I was number 3 on the list. I said I will not go because I was waiting for another opportunity to go to Spain. So I waited, and that one didn't come. I ended up just graduating like that.
Oh,
So I lost all the opportunities to travel abroad. But I think that sometimes all these things happen so that God will also write our stories in a different way. Today, people mention my name, say, "Oh, Miss Hetty has never been to Spain, but she can speak Spanish." It has become an inspiration to a lot of language learners back on campus because I didn't go to, even my friends who went to France. I mean, now I wouldn't really boast about my French because I've been so much into Spanish. But then my French was like top, very, 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 very good. Very, 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 very good. And people used to really admire me, hey, Charlie. And that's why I always try to find ways and means by which learners can be able to learn, even if you've not stepped into the country of your target language. You can still be able to learn, and it's very possible. It's very, very possible. Yeah.
now this is exciting. So before I ask any further questions on that, I think I'm going to take it from the fact that you said that you prioritize speaking. It's one of the things that I noticed in Ghana. We prioritize the grades over the speaking.
Yes.
You prioritize the speaking, and somehow, if the grades are not speaking for you, it looks like you're not doing well. But what is the goal of the learning of the language? The goal is to be able to speak. So
yeah.
And you cannot speak. For me, it's a problem. It's a problem. And I keep saying that's what happened to me when I went to France. I was the president at SS, and then at university, I was stuff. Then we go to France, and I can't understand what they are saying. I cannot speak it. And that is where I also drew my inspiration that let me see how I can help Ghanaians speak it. I mean, you can't be getting 100% and 90 and 80s and you can't speak it at all. It's not good. So how did you learn it while you were here? What did you do to improve upon your speaking? Because what's the way
So I remember even with French, I remember then I would, if you can hear, you can be able to speak. So I think that's what Fred has always been saying. Much input will equate to the output. So if you put more of the language into you, you automatically output it. So I would go and watch French movies There are some that were very advanced I couldn't understand, but there are some that were okay. And if I go and watch the ones that were so advanced, it didn't help me because it discouraged me. Why can't I hear? So I'll go for the ones that are a little bit slow, and then I will watch them. And then when I just watch, it just lives rent free in my mind subconsciously, right? So when I meet somebody, I'm just able to speak without thinking because I already have so much French in my subconscious. And it's the same with Spanish. I will listen more. So I'll watch movies and I'll try to speak as they speak in the movies. So the more I listen, the more my mind is rewired to speak. But if I don't have any communication with the language, it doesn't make sense to be able to speak. It will not work. It will not work. So I would watch movies. One thing that I mean, changing phone language was also something that I think if you're a language learner, you've not done that, ish. Ish. And one thing I also do was self practice. And I always say this because I wasn't in that environment where I would have people to practice with. My friend that I was practicing with went to Spain, Dinah. We were like this. We always practiced together. So we had days for speaking in French and we had days for speaking Spanish. Yes, that's how we did it. So for her, she has been very instrumental in my language journey, and I always mention her because we were of like-mindedness. So if you have somebody who has the same mind and you're able to work with them, it will make your journey very, very smooth. You can be able to, we can just pick a phone and talk to each other in French. All the conversation, we just talk in French, or we pick a phone, all the conversation, we do Spanish, and then we correct each other. So while she's talking, and then I'm like, oh, this is wrong, or I try to read, or she's like, oh, how do you say this word? I'll just chip in, and that helped because I had somebody to be practicing with. But when she left, I was on my own because her schedules had changed, and I also had my own schedules, so I had to improvise. So this was where I did self practice. So I would wake up in the morning and I'm like, or at night before I sleep, what did I do the entire day? Can I try to narrate it in French? Can I narrate it in Spanish? So whilst I'm trying to narrate it, there are words I don't know this word, I'll look it up. That's how I learn. That's how I learn. So even before I meet somebody to practice with, I've practiced with myself. So when I meet you, there's no way you can speak and I'll not understand because I've been watching the movies. I already know how the language sounds. I already know how fast you can speak. So there is no way you speak and I'll not hear. Yes. And I think also involving myself in activities on campus was also very helpful because I was the Spanish club president and for theater, teatro, and then also for canto, music. So I did the two for 2 years. And I think that was also instrumental because you have people, you're always mingling with the language. And that really helped. To me, that was what did the trick. Yeah.
It was so inspiring. At least I've learned teatro and canto.
Yeah.
So if I should take something from this, what you just said, what I see from your journey is the intentionality.
Mm.
You were intentional about exposing yourself to the language or hearing the language. And it's one of the things that as somebody who tries to teach, I'm using tries to teach adults because I give up on adults a lot.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
They usually come and they are like, oh, am I too old to learn French? I said, no, you're not too old to learn French. You can learn French, right? But the things that you want them to do to help them, they're not ready to do it. That is what
Yes.
it is. So for
Yes.
adults, it's not that you don't have the capacity you still have the capacity to learn the French. It's just the unwillingness to be
Mm-hmm.
intentional about it. Because as
Mm-hmm.
you said, you went to watch videos and all of that. You were right here in Ghana, but you watched videos in French.
Yes.
Because this is the results that you want. Sister, when I tell people, even in class, when you are showing them French content,
Their face will do.
you will give them sites. You will provide website,
Yeah.
YouTube channels that go and watch this and do this, do that. Watch, listen, repeat, watch, listen. They'll come back the next week and tell you that I couldn't do it, or it was so difficult, I couldn't continue. Now, if you are not, the thing is that as long as you are not living in a country where the language is not spoken, if you're not intentional about it, you will not make progress.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they think that they are the only ones who are frustrated, but you, the teacher, also becomes frustrated. It's the honest fact.
Yeah,
And
because you will not see progress.
I used to, when people ask about why French teachers get angry, when I started teaching, I understood it. If you are not too patient, you'll be angry.
Yeah, yeah.
Not for the other ones where those other ones are different. When we're children and the teacher doesn't understand the technicalities
Mm.
and why you are struggling. That one is there. But in a situation where you have taught them what to do,
Mm-hmm.
think that will bring them results, and they refuse to do it. And then they come back to class and they are complaining that they are not making progress. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. They don't want to put in the effort.
Exactly. Because for you as a teacher, also, you have timelines that you are working with. You have a
Yes.
target. I've set a
Yes.
goal for myself. I'm having fulfillment by teaching you and seeing you.
Yes.
So when you
Yes.
come and the progress has not been made, you break me also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
love that. And I feel like it's better we stop this class. It's not
Yes.
like they feel like you are not being patient. You don't. No, it's not that we don't understand.
Yes.
We are also Ghanaians who went through what you are going through.
Yes.
So we
And
understand
we know what will work.
what will work, and we are giving you the steps. We had to learn it on our own or discover it on our own, and we have given it to you free that this is it. And we have even added the channels for you. It's not like we who had to go and hunt for it because our teachers
Look.
were providing for us. We have even provided you you have the social media content, you have everything. You don't do it, and then you come back and you are complaining, you know.
And I think that this generation, they are more fortunate
Yeah.
because then I was even looking for ways to listen to some French. When we're growing up, I never knew how French sounded, like French from France sounded, even French from Togo or any like African country. I never knew how it really sounded till I got to university. And I was like, so how have I been learning the French? Because no authentic materials are used in class. They will never play any video in class. We didn't have opportunities like that. And I have to go and search. I'll go and sit in the, I didn't have a laptop crowd. I'll go and sit in the lab at school looking for channels, looking for things. And now you have people on social media channels. So there are so many opportunities. And one thing that I've also realized is even teaching, if you try to teach in the target language, it's a big, big, big no. But here in the US, it's a big no for you to teach in English. You are not allowed. Teach in the target language. And that's what helps because it forces the cognitive, mind to understand by force, by force.
Okay.
But in our culture, we cannot do that because they'll complain. You only French local, only Spanish local.
It is not easy, but we are venting. We are tired.
Yeah. I think the way they also vent, we also have to vent like that.
We are using this particular interview to vent. We also have to.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I'm happy that we shared this feeling and then we are bringing it out so that the learners out there will know that we've also been through it and we are
Yes.
trying to help you. So if
Yeah.
you're like if you don't make an attempt to follow what we are providing for you, you will not make the progress. And fortunately for you, you have people like us who didn't have an easy journey, but we are trying to make your journey easy.
Mm.
That is even a plus. Apart from all the many resources that you have available for you online, there are people like us who are also trying to put materials together, channels together, webinars, seminars, just basically everything that we did not have. We want you to
Mm.
so that your journey will be easier. So, what excuse do you have? Viewers, please, at this point, I'm warning
Honey, honey.
you. Change your way. Right, so let's come back to you. Now that we've spoken a lot about all of these things, I want to come back to you what you've done with your either the French or the Spanish. Because, like I said, for you on LinkedIn, I don't just know you for French. I know you for French. I know you for Spanish. I know you are promoting various languages, Chi as well. the voiceovers that you've been doing. Hey, it's your voice. That must smile with the. Please, we want to know all that you are doing, whether with French or Spanish. You're doing great, and we want people to know about it. So please tell us about it.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. So I've done a lot. After, again, as I said, after um, after uni, I dropped French. Painfully. When I was applying for my PhD, I was asking them, please, can I be able to do French and Spanish at the same time? Because I don't want to lose my French. And they're like, of course. But when it comes to academia, I mean, helping this be proficient, I think it's also helping me because when I joined the French meetings, and it really it's refreshing to get into that community of having people to speak with, to talk with. There are times where if I have time, I just come, we talk plenty on the page, and I disappear. Then I disappear again. But in that aspect, it's been very helpful to even have a community to talk with, work with. Having Vero there, she has been very, very instrumental because in the times where I hide, she comes through for me. I think you've also really been really been helping and pushing the B-Proficient page. And thank you so much. Let me use this opportunity to really thank you, because when I want to give up, you guys are saying, no, you can't give up. Let's continue. We can do this. So I'm really thank you so much. I'm really grateful. But I mean, aside everything, as I said, I did my master's at Baylor University in Texas, where I did Spanish. It was basically Spanish, but I also worked as a teaching assistant, where I would teach. So I would teach. Then the teaching assistant is not like Ghana, where you are helping a teacher. You are like a professor. You are teaching. Yes, so you teach them. You are the one who creates the slides. You are the one who grades their work. Give them exams and everything. They will send you emails. So you are just working like a professor. That's how basically it is. So they don't see you as a TA. They see you as their person. So they call you. When I see you, it's like, hello, Professor Agyekum. Like, oh. Professor Agyekum. So aside that, yeah, so I did my thesis. I do research. As of now, I do research. I mean, even after that, as I'm here right now, I'm into Hispanic linguistics. Linguistics is my field. Even though I didn't start with linguistics, people think that I did linguistics back in uni, because that back in University of Ghana, because that's the combination that's very common, linguistics, French and Spanish. But I know I did political science. I really loved politics then. Yes, I really loved politics, but I dropped political science. So people think I did linguistics. No, I didn't have any background in linguistics. But right now, I'm into Hispanic linguistics, and my research is basically on African Spanish. So I look into Spanish in Equatorial Guinea to see what is going on, some traits, with the way they speak, their sounds. I really love phonetics, so I look at their sounds. How are they pronouncing things? How is it different from the Spanish from Spain? I also look at I studied advice, how they give advice, and even studied Ghanaian Spanish as well, with the Ghanaian Spanish movie. How are advice given? Even though you are Ghanaian, how do you speak the Spanish? What words do you use? Do you pull things from Ghanaian English or Ghanaian language into the Spanish? How is it functioning? Like, I'd like to see things like that. So academically, that's the path on which I am. I'm into social linguistics, social phonetics, social pragmatics, and I love the field. I love it. I really wish I could do second language acquisition, but where I am, they don't really have anybody. I think they are going to get somebody on board. But if I can be able to also look into the second language acquisition. But it's one of the things that's really on my heart. And aside that, I try to engage LinkedIn. Now I've disappeared, but LinkedIn was a space where I used to push language, and I'm glad that after, like, a lot of people have come up, because when I started, hey, I would look at nobody. So it was you and Vero. You were the only ones on LinkedIn then who were really on language and consistently, posting. Now I see a lot of people have also searched up and they're doing well which is mind-blowing to see. I also do voiceovers. So on the side, that is what I do. I love doing voiceovers. And I hope it does bring me a lot of money. I started in when I was 19 years, but over 2 years now, I've been trying to do it professionally. So I have my equipment, my studio set up at home that I try to do voiceovers and know that. So that's also another thing that makes me happy, aside the schoolwork and all that. Yeah.
So let me ask you this question that I ask everyone who comes. Are the international languages a threat to our local languages?
I think we are a threat to our local languages. Yeah, because the fact that other languages exist that should not make your language extinct. We have to work on owning up our languages. I love tree. Tree na meka we training asante have cool have. I love tree. And I will not substitute tree for any other language. Yes, it's my language. And if you come here and anytime Ghanaians meet, we don't speak English, we speak Tree, such that when foreigners are amongst us, they feel very bad because they feel like we are talking and we are leaving them out. No, we love our language. And I think mostly when we're in Ghana, we don't really value it until we move out. Then you see somebody that you're able to speak your language with. Because you meet this white boy, you're trying to twist your tongue. You are trying to twist your tongue to so that they can hear you. But when you meet your own people, and I think I've had an experience where I stayed with some very affluent people, and they have brought up their child speaking English, and I start to teach their children, and I say I should speak Tree with them. They don't want to speak the Tree because you've not started with them since they were young. So if I try to speak the Tree, they cannot speak, they cannot respond back because you didn't bring them up speaking the English. And mostly when the firstborn doesn't get the Tree, all those who follow, they will not learn it. Yeah, they will not learn it. So I think if as parents, we have to, I'm not a parent, but we have to try as much as possible to cherish the language and pass it on because one of the heritage, like it's a heritage. Our language is a heritage. And people from other cultures, Western culture, they really, I don't know, but they admire us. They admire us. I wish I could speak more than one Ghanaian language. My mom can speak Ghana, but I didn't learn Ghana, and I regret not learning Ghana from her because I could have said, "Oh, I speak 6 languages, or I speak 7 languages." Yes, and I will not take. You see, I think when you ask somebody, "Are you bilingual?" they will say no, because meanwhile you can speak. That person who is saying no can speak Ghana, can speak Tree, can speak Ewe, can speak English, but they'll tell you no just because they don't speak another international language. But we shouldn't see things like that. Once it's our language, it's a language that we should own. So it's the way we also think about things that will make it seem that way. But I wouldn't say that international languages are a threat to our, Ghanaian languages, especially if we own them up. We will be a threat to our languages if we don't embrace it, if we don't speak it, freely and all that. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, just to add what you just said, um, at a point I wanted to when I noticed that most of my friends they come here to learn French, right? I noticed that most of them don't understand the Fanti at all. And I decided, okay, I'm going to introduce Fanti lessons. At first, when I started, oh, Fanti is boring. Fanti is boring. I don't want to learn. So when you start teaching class, they're not ready to learn. So I sat them down one day and I spoke to them. I said, you are Ghanaian. You are Ghanaians. Being able to speak your language is something that you should be proud of.
Yes.
You should not be ashamed of it. You should not think it's boring. Have you ever met a British boy who cannot speak English before? I asked them.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
To speak it. And I think speaking to them it changed their mindset.
Mm.
And gradually they embraced it. So I was able to teach them a little here and there. And my children have also become so excited about Fanti. And the way I will say it, no, you know, you learn it. Because when I want to come and learn the Fanti, or we have to go through something that's Fanti and they're misbehaving, I said, you stand here and boldly speak English and French. You can speak Spanish because you've been using Duolingo. When I put my Duolingo, I used to learn Spanish. I got so he used it to learn also some Spanish. And I said, you are so proud that you can speak English. You can speak.
Yes.
But now when I say speak Fanti, you are right. Look at how you are speaking your Fanti. He became so embarrassed that nowadays he takes his Fanti seriously. Okay, so we have to sensitize them and let them know that it's a treasure that they cannot. It is okay to speak all the other languages, be fluent in them, and they will call you for that. But your local language is also very precious, and you have to add it to it.
Yes. I think even to add to that, when you come here to the US, you realize that most Ghanaian parents here, their children cannot speak Twi. And I've not been there, but it makes me sad. They will say they don't like it. Why don't they like it? Because you don't put it into their minds as they're growing that it's a treasure. So you can speak to them. If they don't speak back, you should sit them down and teach them the importance. Because if you see people who can speak the Twi, everywhere they go, they're able to code switch and speak in a way that they know other people will not understand. And they will say they want their children to learn Spanish, but your child cannot even speak the Twi. And the children themselves, they don't feel comfortable. They feel ashamed that's what happens. They feel ashamed to speak the Twi. I've not gotten there yet, and I don't want to speak a lot about it because I've not gotten there yet. And I think it's very difficult, especially for those of us in the diaspora. Yes. But I think there should still be a way of, holding on, because if you see the Hispanics, you don't joke about it. You will speak it. But for us, I don't know. I really, as you're saying, I really hope that we can be able to speak to the children so that they can really cherish, our Ghanaian languages.
And still to add to it, what I notice as a parent also, what I notice is that when you want to teach them the local language, the materials are not there. That is also one of the materials are not there. Okay, so whenever I want to teach them Fanti or anything, if it's English, the materials are there. If it's French, it's the materials. So I don't even have to teach them French. The whole thing is I don't have to be teaching it, or they just have to play my videos or something when they are learning it. But the Fanti, I have to sit down with them, open a book, and take it one after the other. It's not every parent who has that time. But if the materials were available, like they are for English, and then French are making them, these all viewers watch them, and Miss Hertty and they're also making some, all of us and learn. Okay, so the French one, Mameka said, because I make the materials and they're able to pick it up. And the Fanti are local languages. So this one, I'm using this channel to appeal to everybody who is into local languages. Start making content that we can use to teach our children. I noticed that some of the songs that we sing, the local language, the songs, doesn't make sense. To be honest with you, sometimes I really want to teach them some of the songs, but I'm like, no, the songs don't make sense. So why if I'm teaching children something, I want to make sure that in the end they are taking something sensible out of it. If it's a local song, just the fact that I want you to learn local languages doesn't mean I'm just going to take any song at all and come and teach you. Those songs are not even there. So there's a lot that we have to do. We have to personally, we have to take charge of it as a people and create content based on your language, not just the Twi. People have always been bashing the Twi. For this one, I'm not speaking to Hertty. The Ashantis are always making sure people learn their languages.
Yeah.
The others should also pull up and stop bashing the fact
yes.
you're doing with the international language. You are not doing it. Somebody is doing it proudly, and you are complaining. To redirect making things. So I started videos on Fanti. I started Fanti videos. I realized it was not getting much views as the French was. So I stopped. Right? But I'm gonna
why? I think you should come back. Because even me, I want to learn Fanti. There's so many Fantis here. I can't speak the Fanti with them. I try to do whatever. But it would be very, very great. I would, if I get channels where they are teaching Ga or something fancy. Fancy is a language I really love and want to learn. I would learn it. Yeah. So as you are saying, they should give
Okay.
us the content.
All right, so I'll bring it back, and those of you who can do other languages, please come up with full force. Make it fun for children because we want to start it from the basics. Okay, so Miss Hertty, it's been amazing talking to you. But before we go, I want you to tell us where we will find you online. Yeah. So the channels that you are on, the names you are using, please tell us everything because we have to search for you and find you.
So you can find me, Henrietta Agyekum, on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and Miss Hetty VO on Instagram. But if you want to follow B-Proficient, it's B-Proficient on all social media handles, including YouTube as well. So yeah, you can find me there. Can text me or something, and I'll be glad to talk.
Okay, so let me add that Miss Hetty has single-handedly inspired so many language learners on LinkedIn from what I can see. Yeah, so if you are not following her, Charlie, you're missing out. Please. The only problem is that now she's doing her PhD, so she's hiding a bit. But you can just check from the ones she has already as she has some more. So let's follow her. Ok, maintenant, avant de terminer, est-ce que vous avez des conseils pour les spectateurs?
Conseil. So I would say that if you're learning French, don't give up. There are so many opportunities out there. I think even from the previous videos that if you have not watched, please go and watch the previous videos. And you can even look at some of the benefits of learning French and do not give up. Don't think you can never be able to do it. But on the other hand, please put in the hard work because we language teachers too, we are trying our best to help you. So if you don't try your best, you will not get the results you need. Just as you need results, we also need results. So please, all the necessary things you have to put in place, the hard work, every other adventure you are venturing into requires hard work. So you have to put in the hard work. And I know that you can be able to do it. And do not give up. Do not give up. Don't say, I can never be able to do this. You can. You can do it. That's why we have so many resources out there, these things that we are organizing, the interviews and all. And so that is what I would tell you, that keep at it, and definitely you will be at that place where you speak and then people will be like, oh my God, you're able to speak French. Oh my God, you're able to speak Spanish. I also want to thank Madam Roma for this opportunity to be here. She has been awesome, as I said before. She's been awesome. She's always a vibe. We have our small group B that we've been, vibing the secret group. And she's always a vibe. It's always wonderful talking to her. Sometimes when I'm stressed, I just open the group and go and laugh small, listen to some fancy, and she's been so amazing. So please, don't, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe to the channel because she has so many exciting things for you as well. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, merci beaucoup, c'est tout à faire. Et merci d'être venu. Merci aux spectateurs de nous avoir regardés. Thank you, dear spectator. Hey, Mrs. Spectator's translation, not anything. The viewers for watching. I'm sure you've learned a lot, and this will inspire you on whatever language that you are learning. You're going to put in more effort and get the benefits that come from being multilingual. My name again is Madam Henrietta Agyekum. Please subscribe and let's hear from you. And you can respond in the comments. If you have any comments, you can put it in the comments, or you can stay in touch with me on social media. Ok, merci beaucoup et au revoir tout le monde.